Good morning, everyone. This is Sunday, May 21st, 2023, and this is Unity Radiant Light Sunday service. And today we're concluding Hell in the Hallway, opening the door. The Hell in the Hallway is based on Reverend Ellen Davenport's book, Hell in the Hallway, Light of the Door. We've been exploring it. Wonderful book. And I am Reverend Cherie Ruffo, here to walk through this journey with you today. So we've talked about, over the past several weeks, we've talked about what a hallway is, entering it. And that is a time in our life when we may step into, we may lose somebody from our life, leave a job, lose a job, get a diagnosis we weren't expecting. Anytime we walk into something that presents problems for us, immediate transitions and changes, we can find ourselves in this hallway. And we've talked about the fact that we shouldn't decorate the hallway, we shouldn't bring furniture into it, wallpaper it, or do any of those things because we don't stay in the hallways. We walk through this transition, hopefully with more grace now, and we move on. And today we're going to be talking about opening the door. What does that mean? And I've really done, thought a lot about this. Every person goes through not just one hallway, may go through several hallways in their lifetime. And the beauty of it is that as we go through that, we gain experience. And sometimes those things that happen in that diagnosis, there might be a complete change in life. We may develop more spiritual tools. We may find the good, find that pearl that is in our life because of that now. And we know that no matter how we got into the hallway, sometimes it's something we had power over, sometimes it's not. It can change in an instant. All of us have at least one hallway. Many, I would say, are all more than one hallway. And that the thing that we know is that hallway does come to an end. We know that whatever is happening in our life, that time is never wasted. We can use it, we can grow from it. That's the most important thing to remember. How do you get out of a hallway? You have to think a lot. We're going to talk about that this morning. Do you really want to get out of that hallway? Sometimes people get in the hallway and they find that they get sympathy and attention there. So they tend to linger there because they become comfortable with that. Some people I know, they have gotten stuck and they tell their story over and over and over again. And that story doesn't change. So they stay in that hallway. Some people may feel guilty about leaving the hallway. Maybe you lost your beloved or somebody else in your life, a parent or child. And you know that when that door opens, you're going to be leaving the hallway, maybe feeling guilty because you're leaving without them. You're moving on. But it's okay to do that. And we're going to talk about all the reasons why. The thing to remember is that you are the designer of your life. You have to embrace this belief. You have to remember this belief. Really hold it close so that you can move out of the hallway. And sometimes your life goes on in a way and a loss that you can't replace. So your beloved may have made their transition out of this lifetime, and you're gonna leave this hallway without them. You can build a new life. You deserve to. And that's what we're here for. The one thing to know is that what happens in the hallway is a consciousness shift before we can actually leave it. And sometimes we may feel like we've lights rising in our life, and then we have two steps back. And we kind of feel like we're on a roller coaster. But that's okay too, because that is going to leave the hallway. And know that if you stay true to yourself and you keep moving in this journey in the hallway, that you're going to have that shift in consciousness and you're going to see a shift in your circumstances. Things will change. The first thing you have to ask yourself is, what do I really want? What is it that I want in my life? And we could do lots of exercises to do this. As Unity Truth students, We have all sorts of spiritual tools in our tool chest that we can use. And if that comforts you, use them. That helps you, use them. Do what resonates for you. Do what makes you feel good and help that shift in your consciousness so you can move forward. And we know that one of the things that is part of this process as we move through this is surrender. We've talked a lot about surrender and surrender and letting go of the outcome and create your life at the same time. You say, well, how can you do that? How can I totally surrender to this and create this new life? That can be a conundrum, and but it can be done. So what it means is that we can let go and understand that we're not in control of some of the things that happen in our life. But we can think about it like a flower. We can get that flower pot and that soil, and we can plant the seeds and we can water it to help it. But we have no control how that flower is going to grow in the end, how it's going to open, when it's going to open. So we don't have to be in control of the final outcome and know every detail about it. But what we can do is plant and water the seeds. So what does that mean, really? That means that we can create the best conditions for the seeds to grow in. We can create the best conditions in our lives for every aspect of our life. So while we may not be in complete control of the final outcome, we're creating the circumstances and conditions for that outcome to happen. And I find that really great because I'm trusting, I've surrendered the full outcome, and I know that God's good is in every circumstance. So that good is being created. And the thing that we really have to remember when we're doing that and we're working with this, like that flower, we can decide what seeds to plant. So what seeds do you really want to plant in your life? What do you want to create? How are you going to take care of it? Are you going to water it? You're going to tend to it? You're going to radiate love on it? That's how we create the circumstances and the shifts that happen. Joseph Campbell said this so well. He was talking about following your bliss, and he said, if you do follow your bliss, you put yourself on a kind of track that has been there all the while, waiting for you. And the life you ought to be living is the one that you are living. Follow your bliss and don't be afraid. And doors will open where you didn't know they were going to be. Joseph Campbell was a wonderful mystic. And he was right. We don't know where all those doors are going to be or where they're going to lead us. But follow your bliss. Follow what makes you blissful. Follow what you feel complete doing. Because he's talking about the power of intention here. So set your intention and know that things will happen. The right people may materialize to help you. Doors that have been closed may open. And doors will open most of the time, but they may look different than what you thought they might look like. I know in my dating experiences, I was married, very young, from 21 to 40, and married to a very good guy. Things things didn't work out for us. And I know that when I was healing up from that experience and I was single again, I was in a hallway because I had so many changes happening from that. I had to go from we to I to make those changes, change the consciousness of my life. And finally, I realized where I was in my life. If there was somebody that's emotionally unavailable, soulmate experience, right? And for some reason, that never worked out very well for me. And why would it? Because I was going back to the same thing over and over again. And when I surrendered to that experience, when I really allowed that to happen, it was about 30 days later that I met my current husband. And he had qualities I never would have asked for because I didn't know to ask for them. We've been married 12 years yesterday, and are having this wonderful, very different kind of experience than I had before, and very fulfilling. So we ask the questions though, what if it doesn't work? What if this doesn't work? I do this and it doesn't work. What if I try to follow my bliss and it doesn't want me? Sometimes I find that things don't work out, but they're for a good reason, and the proof usually follows. And I found that with Dan. I was dating the same kind of person over and over again, and it wasn't working out. And when I surrendered to that experience and opened my heart up for a different kind of experience, the experience came. And sometimes that doesn't happen in our time frame. We need to evolve consciously. Delays sometimes can be a form of guidance, saying, hey, do you really want that? Have you ever, we have to evolve consciously. Have you ever found a time that you really wanted to be out of that hallway, you were even desperate for it, and it was delayed? Or have you ever set an intention and it happened and arrived so fast, your head was spinning? Well, sometimes we can take that as guidance. We can take a moment, we can breathe, and we can allow those changes to work through us. And I often find that when I see delays, it's when I go inside, because that's what we really need to do when that delay happens, is go inside and say, what is it? And it's a block or a resistance to that. Because the question might be, do I feel worthy of my intention? Do I feel worthy to have this amazing person in my life? Do I feel worthy of that job? Or what if I fail? I get that job and I fail. Do I believe that my intention can really happen? And then I'm afraid when my intention might really happen. So don't worry if the progress is slow. Your consciousness has to shift first, and your consciousness is shifting as part of that. But we have to understand when there's some resistance and delays that we see, it's okay. We just breathe through them, breathe into them, and know that the shift is taking place. Do some work if you need to. Some of that inner work that you might need to do. Because inner change precedes outer change. So when we have it happen in our interior, the inner work, then we will see it reflected in our exterior. The whole purpose of doing spiritual work while we're in the hallway is that, so that we can see this change. It's for us to prepare for the door opening at the end of that tunnel, so we can truly have what we want. I have a really good friend, a dear friend, whose father passed away in February of 2022, and she was stuck in the hallway of grief for a long period of time. She felt it so profoundly. She found she couldn't work. She was having trouble picking up her life and learning to live again. And I think part of it was because she knew she had to learn to live without her father in her life. And she really didn't want to do that for a long time. But as she's been working through all of these things, taking these steps, and sometimes taking a couple steps back, feeling the rage over it, feeling the unfairness of not having him here anymore, but feeling the feelings, then she'll take that step forward again, and now she's beginning to live her life again. She's doing better. She's gone from dipping that toe, seeing that door open a crack, maybe dipping the toe outside of it, to stepping through that doorway. She's moving beyond. And she's gone back to work. She's rebuilding a new life. And she may not know what it's going to look like, but she set the intention for it to be really good. She's still sad and she misses him terribly every day. But she's been able to start moving through the hallway again. And she also recognizes that we are all eternal. Her father is eternal. So he may not be here in the physical anymore. He's here. He's always with her in every part of her life. Even on his birthday, she went out to dinner in Malibu and then went and sat on the beach with him and had that experience because she recognized his presence. So his journey's continuing, her journey's continuing. And through the oneness, they're always going to be together. Sometimes we also experience delays in this. My neighbors, a couple, married couple now, met when they were in grade school, and he used to carry her books to school every day and to and from school, and they had a great relationship. Life changed for them. She moved to Florida with her family. He, he stayed where he was. They married other people. They had three beautiful children. Each had three beautiful children with their spouses. And came the time when then they both were divorced. They had moved on. Their marriages had ended. And it was about that time on Facebook that he decided to look her up to see what she's doing, and they reconnected. And even though it was 25 years later, they still had those same feelings, same values, same respect for each other. And they became a couple, and I actually had the privilege of marrying them about 8 years ago, and they're very happy, and they're enjoying this part of their life together. So yes, there was definitely a delay there, but that delay was in the end so they could live their lives until they were ready to be together again. So when you're in your hallway, you might feel panic, blame, shame, fear, grief, whatever it is. These are feelings that you're going to have and may have, and during your journey, you're going to be able to release them. But if you continue to keep moving in the hallway, not decorating it, not setting up shop, you're going to move into to the next phase of acceptance. And that's where we are now in this journey of this series. We're at acceptance. We've reached surrender, and we know that something must be happening for a reason. It's happening so we can look for the good in life, for the good in all of this. We know with everything that we are that God is in every situation. We can open the door without knowing that. We can open this door now knowing that it's going to be okay on the other side. That light at the end of the tunnel is not an oncoming train. It's worth it to use all the spiritual tools. If you resonate with them, use them. They're there for you. Affirmations, denials, meditation, yoga, whatever these spiritual tools are that can help you relax through this journey. That's what's important. It's worth it so you can claim the life that you want to lead. You can set your intention so that those doors can open. We can understand, and it's so important to know that hallways do not last forever. And if it is lasting forever, you're stuck. And it's time to keep moving. The door is going to open. It's going to show up. It's going to lead you to this next phase in your life with no hallway. And sometimes we've been in the hallway for a long time, sort of thinking about the fact that the door is going to open can be really tough. And we can become really unsure of what it's going to look like outside of the hallway. It doesn't mean that you're never going to experience another hallway. You probably will. I probably will. We come here, we develop these spiritual tools so that we can navigate the hallways better. If you're experiencing delays in your hallway, know that it's going to pass. There are no victims here. You can use your hallway to create the life that you've always wanted. Our souls volunteered to come here for growth in this lifetime, and hallways are simply opportunities for that growth. And as you move through your hallway, or help others move through their hallway, remember, God is in every circumstance. God is in every circumstance. And your good can be experienced in this hallway, behind the next door, every moment of your life. And as we remember these things, we can keep moving forward like we're meant to. And remember what many things which cannot be overcome when they are together yield themselves up when taken little by little. So sometimes the whole problem or situation can be just too big. And we can start little by little making the changes that we need to make to get through that. And as Joseph Campbell says, follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors where there were only walls. So wherever you are in that journey, I just invite you to breathe, invite you to know that this too shall pass. And we can set intentions. We can plant seeds, the seeds that we want. We can water them and tend them and know that the good, God is in every circumstance, and that good is happening here. So I'm so happy to be on this journey with you. Namaskar. And as we prepare to meditate through this experience, I just invite you to say the meditation affirmation with me. I am open and receptive to the spirit of truth, healing to me what needs to be healed, and revealing to me what needs to be revealed. And I invite you to close your outer eyes if you're comfortable with that. As we center ourselves and we open ourselves, we can breathe in all the way down into our stomachs and release. And we can continue breathing in, allowing our heart center to open, feeling the energy from the galactic coming through our crown chakra and from Gaia to the base of our balls, the balls of our feet. As we breathe in, we breathe through. We're interchanging the energy with Gaia and the galactic center in us. As we allow this shift to happen, we go a little deeper into meditation. And we recognize that life may have had several hallways. You may be in a hallway right now, or someone you know and love is in one. So we allow ourselves to just gently bring that awareness. What is that hallway for you? How did the hallway happen? Do you want to get out of that hallway? Is there something that's keeping you stuck here? Maybe a blockage or resistance? Fear? What the hallway is going to look like? What is your new life going to look like? When you see that door opening and you step through it, so I just invite you to sit in your hallway, wherever you are right now, and look up at that wall, that hallway. And you may see a window there. What do you see when you look beyond that window? Do you see the sunshine, light? What does it look like? What's your intention beyond the hallway? Is your intention to open the door? And if it is, then you're ready. So before we do open that door, I invite you to set your intention. What is it that you want beyond this hallway? As we sit in silence for a moment. You're ready to leave the hallway. And we see where that window is. We see a door frame forming. We see the doorknob. You can see light shining through the crack in the door. I just invite you to push that door open and take the next step, knowing that God is in every circumstance. God is in every circumstance. So what does it look like for you? What do you feel? What is a realization maybe you had in your meditation? Silence. You were so brave, amazing, as you stepped through that doorway, experiencing God in every circumstance. As we do that, we feel it in every cell of our body, healing what needs to be healed. We feel that healing taking place right now, knowing that we have prosperity in every area of our lives. And with that comes that inner joy, love, followed by great peace, the peace that we have wanted for so long. And knowing that God is in every circumstance, we know it's because we come from the substance of love. We can never be anything else. And God is that substance. For this, we're so grateful for the guides, the masters that walk with us. Jesus, our way shower, who taught us the blueprint of how to do this. And for you, you're so amazing. As your spirit expresses as it's meant to express. We know that God is and as us in every circumstance. And so it is.